Hello and welcome to Deborah Hanson Read with me. I'm Deborah Hanson, and today we're going to review Chapter 8 of Chains by Laurie Halse Anderson. Just a quick summary, what I call kind of in a nutshell. I'm going to use the slides so that you can take some notes if you need to. Just going to go over a little bit of the more important points of this chapter and maybe some important quotes that you could use in, say, a book talk or a book report. Okay, so just in a nutshell, so Becky actually doesn't live at the house with the Locktons and Isabel. She lives in a boarding house. So a lot of the responsibilities in the house are going to fall on Isabel's shoulders, basically, getting the wood, getting the water, cleaning, all of that. Becky basically does the cooking. So that's kind of a little bit of work for Isabel. And also the fact that Madame Lockton is not exactly the kindest to her. She gives her a lot of criticism. She's quite tough on Isabel. So it's not an easy life for her. In this chapter, we're also getting a sign that things between the Locktons, Madame Lockton and Mr. Lockton, may not be so great. So there's a little bit of tension there. He's quite mean to her, that kind of thing. So we can sort of have a little foreshadowing there that things are not going to be so rosy in the future for these two. Madame Lockton takes a liking to Ruth. She wants her to be basically her sidekick, her puppet, basically. So she dresses her up in pretty clothes, and she basically just keeps her as a companion. Isabel's kind of suspicious of this. So this is where we're at in this chapter. A good quote that would demonstrate the relationship between Isabel and Madame Lockton. I kept a careful track of her the same way as I used to mind the neighbor's bull when I took the milk cows out to pasture. She had not hit me again, but always seemed to be on the edge of it. That's from page 49 in my book. So if you have a different book, it may not be on page 49, but it'll be close enough to that. The last line of the chapter also kind of leads a little bit of that foreshadowing again. I lay awake every night, heart filled with dread, recalling the dangerous offer made by the boy in the floppy red hat. We know that's Curzon, and we know that he wants her to spy on the Locktons. Now, she's afraid to do that, but at the same time, you can see she's got this relationship with Miss Lockton going on. She's worried about Ruth. She wants her freedom. So there's a lot going on in Isabel's head in this chapter, and she's not sure what she's going to do yet. So we'll have to keep reading to see what happens. Thank you very much for listening. If you like my channel, please subscribe. If you want to hear the full chapter read out loud, I also have those on my channel. So I'll read through them, and I'll also do some commentaries as we go along. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Bye. Hello and welcome to Deborah Hanson Read with me. I'm Deborah Hanson, and today we're going to review Chains by Laurie Halse Anderson, Chapter 9. So we're going to look through the slides together because this will help you if you're writing an essay or if you have a book talk or a quiz coming up. It's just going to review all the main points of the chapter. If you want to hear the chapter word for word, then go to my channel and you'll be able to listen to the chapter with commentary to make it easier for you. Okay, first thing. So General Washington and his army are parading down Broadway, complete with musicians jamming out on the fife and drum. So basically, they're just trying to make a stand, right? The entire city turns out for the event, but the Locktons, they're not interested because we know, well, exactly, they're not fans of General Washington and his troops, right? They're on the British side, so they wouldn't be there. Ruth is spending all her time just basically being Madame's little puppet, little companion, and Isabel is kind of sitting on the back of the steps sharpening knives. So that's kind of a creepy part of this chapter because she's sharpening the knives and she's thinking about different things and how she feels about the Locktons and everything. Mr. Lockton invites some of his friends over to discuss the next steps for the Loyalists. So they're having this meeting to talk about how are they going to defeat the Patriots? How are they going to defeat Washington and his army? Isabel notices that Ruth's been crying, but she knows better than to ask about it. Madame Lockton's having tea with Lady Seymour, who we know is Mr. Lockton's aunt, the rich aunt who they treat like the queen. And Isabel introduces herself as Isabel Finch, but Madame uses this as an occasion to change her name to Sal Lockton. She doesn't want her being Isabel Finch. She no longer wants her to be identified by that. So she changes it to Sal. which is a little bit symbolic in a way. I know I had this discussion in my classroom where if you think of Isabelle, Belle being beautiful, and Sal in French actually means dirty. So you can see sort of the connotation there of those two words that could be some symbolic meaning behind it. Isabelle is sent to the library to serve Mr. Lockton and his friends, and they're talking about the coming arrival of the British fleet and how badly they need to squash the rebel forces of George Washington. So they're trying to come up with a plan to have the British victorious in this. So Isabel leaves the study to get more food and drink, and then she returns with the bread and jam that they've wanted, and she finds that the door is closed, but she hears Lockton saying something about having enough money to bribe the rebel army. So very interesting. So she knows now that she's confirmed her suspicions now that whose side they're on. And then she sees him going through Madame's chest. Remember the one that was in chapter 5, where you remember there was that whole kerfuffle at the port where they didn't want to be she didn't want her personal items to be searched. Well, guess what? That was packed with money. So the plot thickens at this moment when she realizes at this very moment that she needs to take Curzon's offer to spy and hopefully win her freedom. She notices this because she says to herself, they don't even see me here. I'm invisible to them. I'm just like, I'm not even there. They'll say anything in front of me. And she knows now that they're up to no good. So this is a great opportunity for her to earn her freedom by spying on them for the rebels. Here's some good quotes. I actually really find this one kind of a little creepy, but as I sharpened, I imagined using the knife to cut through the ropes that tied us to New York. I'd slice through the ocean and Ruth and me would walk on the sand all the way home, 10 circles to the left. That's on page 53 in my book. It might be on a different page for your book. 10 circles to the left, 10 circles to the righty, all make the blade sharp and mighty, page 56. I think she's thinking about Mrs. Lockton when she's doing that. The chains that bind her, the cut through the ropes that tied us to New York, again, symbolism and metaphors there. I was just about to push open the library door with my foot when the master said, "Compliments of His Majesty, gentlemen, there's enough money here to bribe half the rebel army." That's what they found in the chest on page 60. Madame's linen chest, the one that she had fussed about when we arrived, was in the middle of the library floor, the top thrown open, underskirts and shifts were heaped on the floor beside it. Lockton reached into the chest and pulled out 2 handfuls of paper currency. That's on page 60. Again, just describing the chest and what they found in it. I was invisible to them until they needed something, page 61. Again, she realizes that she is invisible to the Locktons and that she can pretty much hear or see anything that's going on and pass that information along to Curzon. I kept my face still as plaster mask, but inside my brain pan, thoughts chased round and round. By the time the men rose to leave, I knew what I had to do. And again, this is that moment where she realizes she's going to spy on the Locktons for Curzon and hopefully gain her freedom. So that's it for chapter 8. Chapter 9. Hopefully you found that helpful. If you want to hear the whole chapter again, you can hear that on my channel. Please subscribe if you can. I love seeing the numbers go up. So do my students. So we're trying to hit 1,500. So maybe higher. Who knows one day. Thanks again and have a great day. Please leave a comment in below if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them at any time. I'll answer everybody who leaves a comment. Thank you.